Hello and welcome, this is Suzanne from Nonstop Papercrafts. Thank you for joining me on my channel. So today we're going to have a look at making this wallet. So this is a great addition to a journal. It could also be a standalone project. This one is made out of a wallpaper and then has a belly band to hold it closed. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so as I said, the cover is made out of a wallpaper, so hopefully on camera you can see that this is a textured wallpaper. It also has a kind of shiny glittery surface, which is why I absolutely love this. Wallpaper is great for journal products because it is thicker than normal paper and you can get some really gorgeous designs. So as I said, I have a belly band that is the closure, and all I did was use some of the wallpaper to help decorate the belly band. I've also used book page to actually create the band itself. And then the actual wallet is just a kind of standard envelope opening, and then inside, using book page, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. Okay. Now you can obviously adapt this however, so you could make it smaller than this, you could make a larger one than this. You could also have more pockets, less pockets. It's entirely up to you. So this is really adaptable, which is another reason why I love this project. And I'm going to show you how I made this. Let's get started. Okay, so to be able to do this project, you are going to need book pages, some wallpaper. If you're choosing to use wallpaper, you can of course use other things. So if you have scrapbooking paper or digital paper, that's absolutely fine. And then you will need some either scissors or a guillotine. It's entirely up to you how you want to cut it, and then an adhesive of your choice. Because you need a thin bead of glue, and because we're using book page, obviously book page sometimes can warp a little bit, so I like to use double-sided sticky tape, so that's what I'm going to be using today. Okay, now first thing we're going to do is make the actual pockets that go inside the envelope. So I have 8 pieces here and that will make 4 pockets. Obviously, depending on how many pockets you want to make, you need 2 book pages per pocket, so you need to think about that. Okay, so I'm just going to trim these down a little bit. So I'm going to get rid of the white, so I just have the text left, so I'm going to do that first. Okay, so those are my pages trimmed down. So as you can see, I've only taken the white parts off the top and the bottom. I am going to trim it a little bit along this edge because, as you can see, it is quite a rough edge. It's not too much of a problem because I am going to make that the bottom. So you're not going to see those edges, but it just kind of helps a little bit if they are neatened up slightly. So I am just going to trim that bottom bit a little bit. And as I say, that just neatens it up. Okay, you also need to decide, so obviously this is how wide my envelope is going to be, my wallet, sorry. I also need to decide how deep I want my pockets. Obviously, if you want quite a shallow one, then you're going to have to trim down your page. If you wanted a really skinny one, then obviously you would just have a thinner book page. It's entirely up to you how you want to do your pockets. I am going to trim this down again a little bit. I think I might just keep just the writing. So trim it down so I literally just have the writing, and that's going to be the size of my pocket. Okay, so here are my pages all trimmed down. So as you can see, I've gotten rid of all of the white, so there's no white on either side or top or bottom. So this is going to be the rough size now of my wallet. So what we need to do now is start sticking the pages together to make those pockets. So to make it easier for me, I keep the pile of papers at the top, and then I just flip the top one over. And as you can see, I've already started with this one, but all you do is you make a U shape with either glue if you're using glue, or like I said, I'm using double-sided sticky tape. So once you've done that, obviously peel off the backing if you are using double-sided tape like me. And then all you do is you kind of lift this one and then place it back on top, lining it up. Okay, and then that is one pocket. Okay, and then I put that to one side and I do the same again. So take this top one, flip it over, do my U shape, stick them together, and I'll do that for each of the pockets. I will obviously pause the camera for this for you, so you're not bored to tears watching me do this, but yeah, you literally just do a U of glue and then you should end up with 4 pockets, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so here are my 4 pockets. So each of them I have done the U shape with the tape so that they are now all open. Okay, so they're all the same and open. Okay, the next thing to do is we want to be able to attach them. So again, we're going to do the same thing. So pile at the top, flip it over, and then what you want is a long strip of either glue, if you're using glue, or double-sided sticky tape at the bottom, and then a shorter one at the top. Now the one at the top you can measure if you like, so that you know it's the same for each page. That is entirely up to you. I personally don't measure, but you can do if you want to. So about that sort of size. Yep, so it doesn't have to be big, just a mini one. And then again, same process, peel it off. Oh. And then bring this pocket again, making sure that the openings are at the top, and then sticking it down. Okay, so you now have your 2 pockets joining together. Okay, and then you just keep going with that process. We've got the opening the right way, and then sticking that on. So we now have our 4 pockets. Okay, so this is the inside of our wallet. Okay, just using book pages. So the next thing you need to do is obviously decide on what your cover is going to be. So I am going to be using wallpaper again. I'm using the same wallpaper that I used for the prototype, only because I've got a huge roll of it and I'm trying to be very good this year and use up what I have instead of buying lots of new things. So, but it is only January, so we'll see how long that lasts. Okay, so this piece of wallpaper I have already trimmed down, and as you can see, it is only just a smidge larger than my actual book page. Can you see there's a teeny little gap on that side and a teeny little gap on that side? Okay, so again, that's personal preference. You could have it completely flush if you want it completely flush, or you could have it larger. It's entirely up to you. So I then want to decide which bit I want on the flap, and I think I quite like this leaf to maybe come down as the top flap. So what you do is you place your pockets on your strip of paper and then kind of decide how far you want your top flap to come down. So I normally go about halfway. I'm going to move that out of the way a moment, and hopefully, if my cutting is straight, that should fold down nicely. Okay, so that's going to be my top flap. Okay, I'm going to put my book pages back and I'm going to move them down so they're not right up against the fold, otherwise that will make it difficult to close. I'm just going to pull them down slightly. Hope you can see that there is a gap there. And then I'm going to lift the top up, and again, not right up against where my book pages are. I am then going to fold, so again, depending if my cutting was straight when I cut this strip. Okay, so this is where my book pages are going to be stuck, and then I now want to obviously create the flap. So to do that, I just fold it backwards, and again just kind of go just underneath. So you may want to put your book pages back in just to make sure that they're obviously not going to be poking out, because I do want this slightly larger but still underneath that fold. Okay, so take those out again, just make sure that I've got that straight, and then fold down. Okay, make sure that all of your creases are nice and burnished. You can use a bone folder if you wish. And then obviously this bit needs to be cut off. So where I've got that fold, I can now use that as a guide. You can use a guillotine if you like, or like me, I'm just going to use a pair of scissors and cut along that fold. Like that. Okay, so this is my wallet base. And then just check that this fits inside. Yep. Okay. Okay, so to attach the book pages then, again, I'm going to use double-sided sticky tape. If you want to use glue, of course, use glue. So now we're going to go around all 4 sides, and then I normally put one across the middle as well, just for good measure. But that's entirely up to you as well. So this time we go all the way around. And then start sticking it down to our wallet. Okay, so again, you obviously just want to double check which one's the right way up. So this is the bit we want at the top. So if we take these strips off. This is where nails would come in handy. All mine have been breaking recently. God, I don't think there's many crafters that have good nails. Although I do see some people actually on some of the YouTube videos who have stunning nails, and I just think, how on earth do you do anything? How do you pick anything up with those long nails? But that's just me, I'd be useless with really long nails. Okay, so now that I've got my sticky side, again, just kind of measure it up, make sure that you've got a teeny gap at the fold at the bottom, but that it's roughly in the middle as well. And obviously still underneath your fold at the top. And just double checking. Okay, then last little bit then. Round the houses on this side. It's just started to rain, so I apologise if you can hear the rain outside. My crafting desk is right next to a window, so it's quite possible you can hear it. Okay. I've kind of overlapped that other piece of sticky tape, haven't I? There we go. Again, this is where nails would come in handy. Oh, come on. There it is. Okay, and then just fold that up and then smooth out. Okay, then we have our 4 pockets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, as I said, you could obviously have more if you wanted, but I think 4's quite a nice number, nice size as well. And there is your finished wallet. Obviously then there are options of how you can decorate and just sort of do little bits. So I like to, for example, just round the corners. So I'm going to get my corner punch just to make sure that I can round those. Again, you don't have to. If you want the 90-degree angle, that's fine. But I like rounded corners. Oh, that wasn't very good, was it? That's better. Okay, so rounded corners. Now, you don't have to do a belly band like I did for the other one. You could wrap it round with sari silk if you have sari silk. You could put a little Velcro piece on there and then it kind of Velcros closed. It's entirely up to you. I like the belly band because it's easier just to kind of pull out and then obviously access quite quickly. So entirely up to you whether you decide to do that, but I will show you the process just so you can see how I made mine. Okay, so to make this belly band, you are going to again need some book page. Now obviously depending on the size of your envelope depends on how many book pages you're going to need. Now because of the size of this, it is smaller than my last one, but a piece of paper still isn't going to wrap around, so I am going to use 2. So all you do is I am going to just trim those off a little bit. Again, just so I've got the text and I haven't got any whites. That's the mistake I made with this one actually. That's why I've got this big embellishment on the front. That kind of covers some of the white, but I have got a massive gap on the back, which I didn't think of when I obviously first did that one. So I am going to cut those off here. Obviously, if you like the white, perhaps, I mean, you could obviously add a stamp or something just to kind of cover that up a little bit. That's something I might go back and do just for that one, because obviously I didn't think of it then. But yeah, you don't have to get rid of the white if you don't want to. Okay, so all we're doing is I'm going to make it a continuous piece. So I'm just going to stick these two together. So for this, I do use a glue stick, only because I think glue stick's fine for this kind of project. So I'm just going to stick those together. I'm not really fussed about whether the wording matches up or not, because you don't really get to see it too much when it's all finished. Okay, and then all we're going to do is make a kind of tube shape. So we're going to fold the 2 edges in to meet. So the first thing is fold over the first edge like that. So you don't have to measure if you don't want to. The only thing you do need to consider is how obviously thick you want your tube to be, or your belly band to be. And then this one is going to fold over this way. Like that. Okay. Now, although the writing's not going to be shown too much, you do perhaps maybe need to think about what way up. So for this one, even though obviously I have a big embellishment, I've made sure that the front, the writing is the correct way up, so you can read it. On the back it is upside down, but then I wasn't really fussed about that, because I thought actually, obviously not this particular one possibly because it's quite large, but if this belly band was stuck into a journal so that this slides out, then you're not going to see the back anyway. So yeah, I wasn't too worried about that being upside down, but that's entirely again something that you need to perhaps consider how you're going to be using your wallet. So I'm just going to put a strip of glue down here, and then one just on the inside here to make sure that middle bit's stuck down. It's the only thing with glue stick is you do get some lumps sometimes. Okay. There we go. And that then is the base for our belly band. Okay, so now you need to measure it around your wallet. So you obviously don't want it too tight, but you want it tight enough that it's going to hold it closed. So you just kind of give it a little bit of a measure, see what would be nice and snug, but like I said, not too tight that you then can't get it out. So I kind of want to go above where it says through with it. That's where I roughly want to stick mine. So if I take that out, I'm going to give that a bit of a fold. Again, get my glue stick and just pop some glue on there. Maybe not with all the lumps though. Let's scrape some of that off. And then stick that down. Right, let's just test and make sure that that still fits. Okay, so that slides quite comfortably, but it's tight enough that it's not just going to fall off. So there is the belly band. Okay, now we obviously want to do some decorating. So I like to, as I did with this one, kind of age it up and put some ink around the edges. My kind of go-to that I like is Vintage Photo. But obviously use what you have. You may decide that, you know, you might not be an inker. You may be somebody that doesn't like to ink everything up, but I do like ink around my edges. I must say I don't ink everything though. I think there are some things that perhaps don't need it, but obviously as this is a belly band and a feature on the envelope, then I think, yeah, actually this needs something to kind of tell you it's a separate part. There we go. Okay. Okay, it's also your decision again how you want to decorate. So like I said, I used a piece from the leftover wallpaper. So obviously where I've trimmed this off, I've got this little bit left. So I could perhaps pick some bits from there. I do have these bits left over from my last one, so I could maybe use these. So again, have something big on the front like that. Or do I pick some smaller pieces? I've got a leaf. There's another leaf on there that I could possibly use. And then maybe, I don't know, have a word or something on there. Or do I want that big piece? I do quite like that big piece. I might go with that. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Yeah, why not? I'll leave the leaf for something else. Okay, so I'm going to put this one on there. Because of the material of this, I'm not going to use double-sided tape or glue stick. I'm going to use my Yoo-hoo glue. Okay, so this is the Yoo-hoo glue. So this is all-purpose adhesive, so it sticks absolutely everything. So this is what I'm going to use for this. Let's just check. Where do I need to apply glue? Okay, so there we go. And then place and push down. Make sure that the glue's spreading where it needs to go. And there is the belly band. Okay, I'm just going to slot that back on there, see how it looks all together. Okay, and there we go. So that's our wallet finished. It looks really smart, I think, with the belly band on there, just to kind of keep it closed. And it's great for a journal. So because I made this one a little bit smaller, this one could easily fit on a page, and I could stick the belly band down. And then this literally just slides out, and then I can have obviously little pieces of ephemera in there. It's not too thick either. Obviously when you start filling it, it will get thicker, but it's not too bad at the moment. Or you could obviously, like I say, this one's a larger one, you could have it as a standalone project. So if you're somebody that likes to obviously send some happy mail to somebody, then this would be an excellent little treasure to send. So yeah, have a play about with the sizes, have a play about with the amount of pockets. There are so many variations. As I said, even with the closures, you don't have to do a belly band like I have. There are so many different things that you could do. I really hope that you enjoyed this project, and if you found it useful, please give the video a like. If you would like to see more crafty projects, things to do with junk journaling, making a junk journal, ephemera, tucks, pockets, all sorts of things, then please click the subscribe button and the bell as well so you are notified of any new videos. I'm available on social media, all the links will be in the description below. I really appreciate you joining me today. Thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely crafty day. See you later. Bye bye.